your network determines your net worth.
Oh yeah.
So things like that. So you always have to, be willing to talk to people. Um, you might get something from it, you may not, but
Yep.
a lot of times it doesn't hurt your time, and just move forward.
That was huge. Hey, you! We're in Virginia Beach, Virginia. This is the People's Podcast 2. I'm the Y guy, and you are our Y.
I think in some type of way, I struggle a little bit every day.
I just pray and then put my effort into whatever thing I want to put it into.
Communication is the key to success. I mean, that's what they say.
Absolutely. Yeah, unity is so important.
Hey everybody, this is the Y guy. Are we in Virginia Beach right now?
Yes.
We're in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and we're here with
Darrel.
Darrel.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you helping me find some places around here to be able to meet some people, and you being the one that actually found to be able to sit down and have an interview or stand up, I guess. But I appreciate it. Are you from here originally?
Yeah, I'm from Norfolk, which is one city over. But
Okay.
I work in Virginia Beach.
What keeps you around this area, or why do you stay here?
Well, I grew up here. It's a nice area. It's not too city, like too busy. But it's not too rural. I mean, but and it's like centrally located, so you can get to Washington D.C., you can get to New York City, and you can also get to Atlanta and Miami.
Yep.
So it's not too far from a lot of different places in the area.
That's good, and I've been noticing that too. I like that. It's not like huge city-wise, and there's a lot of different opportunities even just in this little area to do. So, and I'm sure when Virginia Beach is popping, there's a lot going on down there too. So
yeah, especially in the summertime when you get a lot of tourists in the area. So right now it's kind of cold, and for a beach city, it's like the downtown.
A little slow, but what do you do to earn a living right now?
Architect.
Architect, really?
Yes.
How's that treat you?
Pretty good, man.
That's
pretty
cool.
good. Something I've been passionate about.
I bet.
Studying half my life, really.
Really?
And
are you drawing structures for buildings, or where you at right now, and where do you want to get to?
Yeah, I mostly work on government projects.
Okay.
That's kind of like the focus of my firm. I mean, we do a lot of other projects, but I would say the bulk of our revenue is in like government work.
Okay.
So.
And where do you see yourself sticking in that avenue, or do you like to get them build a Coliseum one day or something?
I mean, I'll do that too. I'm not like just specifically working on government projects because I want to. It's just kind of where I landed.
Yep.
But it's been good.
Well, there's usually a continuous money within the government, so you're going to be building something probably for the rest of your life. You stick around that place. So
that's absolutely right. The government is they're willing to go into debt to do what they want to do.
Exactly. That's it too. That's funny.
Most businesses aren't.
Yep. Exactly. So I mean, that's a good place to stick for. I mean, at least for the security of the whole situation and the learning, because they're growing always. So, do you think if your story was told to anybody, it could make an impact on their life?
Absolutely. I would say I've had a few hurdles in my life, financial hurdles and things of that nature. But if you just keep pushing, don't be discouraged. Even when things seem to get harder, when you figured out you had your stride, but it really wasn't a stride, it's like things can be discouraging at times.
Yep.
During COVID, a lot of people lost their jobs, and they're still trying to find their footing right now.
Yeah.
And I would just say just keep pushing, because that's the difference between those who fail and those who eventually succeed is that they didn't quit.
Yep, that's the biggest one, and I appreciate that nugget. Thank you so much for that. And what is like one little struggle or one of those hurdles that you went through that you're willing to bring up and kind of talk about to make an impact out there?
I had started a business back in like 2014, and it had its run for about 5 years. And as they say, the statistics say that most businesses will fail within 5 years. And after you can get past that hurdle, that's kind of when you kind of find your stride. That's when you become profitable. But for me, I was a statistic of that.
Yeah.
And, I took it on the chin, but I also had my architecture background. I was like, okay, let me just focus on, what my degree is in, just continue to pursue that. So that was one of the not issues, but one of the hurdles I had. But I did have I did have a parachute of the architecture. You know,
Nice.
so if one thing I would advise, if you're going to pursue something that could be potentially risky, is to have a backup plan, have something to fall back on, and that'll kind of insulate you from too much trauma.
Yeah. Do you see yourself using that business experience to maybe get into your own architecture business down the line, or
I
you're
wouldn't,
just not thinking too that far right now?
I wouldn't say into the architecture business, but definitely into other ventures. Like through that experience, I figured out what my strengths are and what my
Yeah.
weaknesses are. Like certain people have innate abilities to thrive in certain types of businesses. The business I was in, I wouldn't say I had that innate ability. It would have been something that I would have had to force myself to kind of adapt to. Um, and you don't want to do that. You want to find something that's not that comes easy, like the work is easy, but you have a knack for it. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
And so I would venture into something that I have a more of a knack for, and pursue it like that.
Okay. And maybe in that, or just like I guess what is just something that you do even right now, like every single day, just to keep yourself moving forward, or even in that time moving forward.
Options trading.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, I do that. But like I said, I'm not dependent on that because
Okay.
I'm working too. It's people who they jump into trading and
Okay.
they do it without, like I said, without that secondary income. You know what I mean? And then when things go south, they really get caught out there.
Yep.
So I can be a little bit more patient with myself, and I can be a little bit more, moderate in my approach and not so aggressive because I'm not dependent on that income, to kind of take care of my bills.
Okay. I got you. Just that's even another backup plan for what you got going on right now. You're just working on a couple things at once,
Yeah.
So always having multiple avenues of cash flow. So that's a big
Absolutely.
one there too. And you think communication there's a good power in communication and building relationships?
Absolutely. I mean, I would say every business venture I've gotten into was by way of communication.
Mhm.
Just through people I've met, along life, and just talking to people. Finding out what they're into, and if it interests me, I'll tell them, "Hey, tell me more about it."
Yeah.
And so that's always, how they say, your network determines your net worth.
Oh yeah.
So things like that. So you always have to, be willing to talk to people. You might get something from it, you may not, but
Yep.
a lot of times it doesn't hurt your time, and just move forward.
That was huge. I think that anybody on here so far, even just through the other answers that you gave too, would be able to be impacted by your story so far. And I mean, that one right there, the network is the net worth, is one of the biggest ones out there too. So it's just tough to get into it, but once you get into it, you just open up your understanding so much. So I appreciate that. And do you think goal setting is necessary to inspire action every day, move forward?
Goal setting, yes, but a lot of times you have to learn how to goal set.
Yeah.
Because if you set a goal that's like too lofty, a lot of times you can be discouraged because you have this imaginary timeline of when you're supposed to meet that goal. And if you don't have like the mentorship, or just like a real working example, a lot of times people look at the top 1% of that particular person in that field,
Yeah.
and they try to replicate their results.
Let's be Elon Musk today, huh?
Exactly. So there are a lot of people who are the other 99% who do that type of work, but maybe their story didn't happen so fast.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't start a business today, and in 12 months they were earning $1 million a year. A lot of times it doesn't happen like that. So if you set that goal and you thinking you are that 1% and you don't meet that goal, a lot of times you can be discouraged, and you probably will quit before you even give yourself enough time to meet the realistic goal that you may didn't know about, because you probably didn't have the right mentorship. It's a lot of stuff online that could just lead you on the progress of success.
Yep.
So
that was one of the best answers I think we got for that question. It was drawn out, but there were so many little points of detail in there that if someone's on here listening to learn, they can definitely take advantage of that. So I really appreciate that. My last question is, do you think a message like unity in today's world, or you and I together, working together, could make an impact?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no strength in being a solo act.
Yeah, that's it right there.
Like teamwork, as they say, teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have to have people around you, even if it's just your family and your friends.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you have to unify with every person you meet on the street, but you have to have some sort of support system, and that support system could be one person. It could be 10 people, but going about it alone and being contrived in your own thoughts can sometimes be misleading. You kind of need a sounding board to throw your ideas off of, and somebody can make you think about things that you wouldn't think about on your by yourself.
Yep.
So
the blind spots, exactly, and self-counsel leads to destruction every time too. So I appreciate your time, and he has 10 minutes, and he gave me all of his time on that. And I mean, I appreciate it. Went a little probably further than we expected it to go, but I really appreciate your instruction on helping me, guiding me, and taking your time today. So it's Darrel, right?
Yep.
I appreciate you, man. Mind if I get a hug from you? I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you for watching this interview. We hope and pray that this story could help you, encourage you, or inspire you to take action in any way. We challenge you to see yourself in every interviewee, and we challenge you to get out and talk to one new person every single day. If this impacted your life in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. We're posting one new video every single day, Monday through Saturday. Thank you so much for your time. This is the People's Podcast. We're praying for you always.
Man, that's deep.